Hi, I'm Jim Wells, and I'm a member of the Best of Us Investors. My hope is that you will consider joining the community and getting involved on our Discord so that you can help to share your information. It's very difficult to have conversations with people in the comments section after a video, and I'd like to expand on some of the conversations that we have, and it would be great to see some of you join that are wanting to become a part of a community to get more information and possibly share your knowledge and to become a part of a team or a group and get involved in the discussion. So with that being said, today I'm going to talk about regulation. According to an article by the New York Post on April 24th, President Biden is looking to hike capital gains taxes for the rich. There were rumors that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen wants a jaw-dropping 80% tax rate for cryptocurrency. That helped send Bitcoin tumbling near the $49,000 mark on Friday. Others say Janet Yellen and SEC Chair Gary Gensler may seek rulemaking that creates barriers to entry into the space, which could slow down or prevent mainstream usage of digital currency. There is also talk about the government banning cryptocurrency altogether for the fear that it will become a legitimate alternative to the currency of the US dollar. What is creating all the buzz? I would encourage you to watch the latest videos Charles Hoskinson has done on both regulation and on Dogecoin. He's concerned about the narrative. The rise and fall of a meme coin that with zero functionality and utility, Dogecoin, he equates it to a pet rock. People are getting into Dogecoin thinking it has a future. In actuality, it's billionaires like Elon Musk that are manipulating 94% of the supply. Charles Hoskinson believes that this kind of bad behavior is going to usher in government regulation. We'll be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Jim Wells.
Founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, spoke on how the current administration has control of Congress and is systematically passing legislation. He believes the next focus will be on tax increase for individuals. In this bill, he believes there will be cryptocurrency regulation action. He goes on to say that this will be sold as a consumer protection package against entities like Dogecoin. Each and every person that loses money on Dogecoin or other kinds of manipulation will pave the way for regulation. It will change the narrative so that people have a negative attitude towards the space if they start to lose money because of market manipulation. Charles makes the point that every minute 4,000 Dogecoins are created out of the air, an equivalent of $10,000 at current rates. There are over 130 billion Doge in existence. That's 4 times the amount of Cardano's ADA. He states the way billionaires like Elon Musk, they buy and can dump large amounts of Dogecoin shows blatant manipulation. It supports the arguments for a Ponzi scheme that needs government intervention. He also speaks on the volatility and heavy push towards NFTs and some DeFi that are out of control as far as its cost basis. Not that NFTs and certain DeFi don't have excellent purpose and possible functionality in the future, but he believes that some of them are not supported by a cost basis, not because of their utility, but because they're not being used yet. They're not actually useful at this point. They're not in actual production. So that's a good point. The administration can also point to the fact that there have been unstable exchanges and that the digital wallets are unsecure. Charles states that if people lose their money to exchanges and digital wallets, it will give the government added fuel for regulation. So he emphasizes the importance of storing crypto properly on cold storage wallets The last thing we want is for people to lose their cryptocurrency. Again, it would change the narrative. Okay, you want people positive towards the space. So anything that makes it volatile or any type of manipulation is going to give negative exposure to the space, and people would support certain types of regulation then. If they have a good experience with it, then there's going to be less people trying to regulate. Because of these reasons, there's a high probability that the current administration will pass regulation. Charles makes the point that not all regulation has to necessarily be bad. The positives of regulation could be that we would define utility tokens and certain securities law. It could also clearly define the roles and responsibilities of all the players in the space. Unfortunately, there are many governments, entities that see cryptocurrency as a threat to the economy and will want regulations so stiff it can make it possible for the U.S. to compete with the rest of the world. Charles speaks on the importance of supporting lobbyists for cryptocurrency and talking to your congressman to help to validate the space. The more of their constituents they hear from that are pro-cryptocurrency, the more support the space will get. As this space grows, regulation is inevitable. Supporters need to lobby on the behalf of cryptocurrency. The United States will end up lagging behind and not see the benefits and the growth like the rest of the world. The countries that embrace the technology are going to move ahead. He goes on to say that the world financial system is currently falling apart. I alluded to this in my last video when we were talking about hyperinflation. So he makes some of the same points. Europe has negative interest rates at this point. Every major democracy has debt that is out of control. Some are at more than 200% of their gross domestic product. I made the point in the last video that the US currently sits at 129% of its GDP as compared to the national debt, that ratio. Charles gives a plug for expanding Cardano into Africa to help its country and its citizens expanding them in the global market. So he definitely gives his support for Cardano and what it is doing in other countries that is kind of bypassing the US at this point. So that was a little bit of his narrative. So what did I take away from Charles Hodgkinson's stance on regulation? It concerns me, I'll be honest with you. I think we're in for some volatility until we see how government is going to react to regulation. And we see what this current administration is going to do and what their plans are. Some positives and clarifications could be a good thing, but I think that there's not a lot of people that are crypto advocates that are currently in power. If bad behavior, most notably if people start losing their money because of market manipulation, I think that could be a real problem for the space. If it gives fuel to the fire and dissension against the space. I also think that supporting Dogecoin and investing in spaces that don't have utility and functionality ignites volatility and manipulation and an unstable market that will usher in harsher regulations. If you are going to invest right now, I would put in small amounts over time until we have a handle on what direction regulation is going. People are constantly asking me right now, which do you like better, Ethereum or Bitcoin? And I would say that Ethereum is definitely hot right now, and people make a very strong case for its utility and its functionality and how expansive it is in terms of all the different areas that it touches in decentralized finances and NFTs. And I completely 100% understand that point. And I think it's very possible that you will see a higher yield with Ethereum moving forward in the near future. With that being said, however, I think the space is going to go as Bitcoin goes. I mean, that is where the mass adoption is occurring in the institutional space. In addition to that, there is a scarcity issue with Bitcoin. that needs to be taken into account. So really, I feel like you should be investing in both if you are interested in the space. They are definitely the leaders. As Andreas Antonopoulos says, they're both the apex predators, and they will continue to grow together.